is going on, Knicks fans? Welcome back into Knicks Media. My name is Richie, and I gotta focus in on OG Anunoby in today's video because the New York Knicks are winning without Jalen Brunson, and OG Anunoby has been playing fantastic basketball, and I want to break down why this changes everything for the New York Knicks as they go into the NBA playoffs. OG Anunoby in his last 7 games has been playing out of his mind. He got nominated as the Eastern Conference Player of the Month on the defensive side of the ball, and it's been a joy to watch OG Anunoby break out into the player that he is for the New York Knicks. As we know, the Knicks gave him a massive contract extension in the summer, gave him a lot of money, and he is absolutely stepping up to the plate, and not only being a defensive anchor, but his offensive game has been completely unlocked, and it has been a joy to watch. So folks, right away, I want to hear your thoughts in the comments of OG Anunoby, your biggest takeaways from his play thus far, and what you're expecting from him as we enter the NBA playoffs. Now, I do want to get into the stats of OG Anunoby right here on the screen. You see it on the Real app. The last 7 games of OG Anunoby has been flawless. 27 points, 5 rebounds, 2 steals against Philadelphia, of course. 28 points, 7 rebounds for OG Anunoby on 69% field goal percentage. Look at the consistency here, folks. 31 points against Milwaukee on Friday, and I think the Knicks are going to match up against Milwaukee in the first round of the playoffs. It's not official yet, of course, but that's my prediction. 28 points against the Clippers, 35 against Dallas a few weeks ago, 23 against Washington, and then 25 against Charlotte. These are the last 7 games of OG Anunoby, and it's been really fun to watch because we all knew what OG Anunoby was capable of when he got traded here from the Toronto Raptors, trading RJ Barrett, trading Emmanuel Quickley last year, and he came in and had an immediate impact, and all of a sudden the Knicks won 9 in a row last year, if you guys remember, and then he went down with that elbow injury, and we're all worried about OG, and then he comes back for the playoffs. The Knicks absolutely ball out in the first round against the Philadelphia 76ers. We beat them in 6, and then we're up 2-0 against the Indiana Pacers in round number 2, and then that's the game where OG Anunoby hurts his hamstring, and then everything went downhill when OG went down in that series. He tries to go out there on one leg in game 7, hits a few shots, but he should not have been on the court. So with OG Anunoby healthy and playing at this level, it changes the entire outlook, in my opinion, of this Knicks basketball team entering the NBA playoffs, because with Jalen Brunson's return looming, and I think I saw somewhere Knicks Fan TV, CP the Franchise, said that on Sunday is the game to look out for Jalen Brunson to return. So with JB getting healthy, with OG Anunoby playing at this level, Mitchell Robinson coming off a 14 points, 14 rebound game last night, this Knicks team is set up for a very good opportunity to go on a run in the NBA playoffs. And I honestly think if there was an X factor on this Knicks team, it is OG Anunoby, because if he could play at this level from an offensive standpoint, we know the defense that he provides, getting into the passing lanes, forcing turnovers, being an absolute menace on the defensive side of the floor. But this is a new element of his game that I feel like was untapped. We saw him get 40 points this season for a career high, and he's also just playing a lot of and we saw the dunk last night. I mean, you talk about dunking on Lonnie Walker last night, posterizing him. Like, he is absolutely somebody that this Knicks team could rally around on the offensive side of the floor. His defense, of course, carries into easy buckets on the offensive side of the floor when you get into the passing lanes, forcing turnovers. Even the game on Sunday against Portland, the Knicks were down by 14 points, and all of a sudden you see OG get back-to-back turnovers, stealing the ball, easy dunk in transition. Like, he's somebody that if you can give him the rock and let him go to work on offense and let him just carry the load, offensively speaking, mixed in with his defense, it is an absolute nightmare for opposing teams to go up against this Knicks basketball team. And I feel like there's not enough positive energy around this Knicks club right now as we're entering the playoffs because of the injuries and us not being able to beat up on great teams. And tonight's going to be a big test. We're going up against the Cleveland Cavaliers, of course. It's going to be a back-to-back game, so they're going to have a lot of all hands on deck tonight against Cleveland without Jalen Brunson, and Cat is still banged up. So hopefully we can get fully healthy entering the NBA playoffs. But I definitely wanted to make this video and focus in on OG Anunoby for a lot of different reasons. We're seeing Mikal Bridges also play really good basketball as of late, and I feel like the injury to Jalen Brunson has opened up the opportunities for a guy like OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges and even Josh Hart and guys like that to get a significant increased role on the offensive side of the floor. And OG Anunoby is on a new level, and I really do believe with Jalen Brunson going down, it gave OG Anunoby that opportunity. Not to say he has been playing great ball when JB was healthy, but what this is doing, it's giving OG Anunoby more volume, more opportunities to shoot. I mean, last night, 16 shot attempts. He's averaging like 16 to 20 field goal attempts a game now with JB sideline, and I hope that when JB does come back, he understands as a point guard, like, hey, OG has been balling. I mean, you see the stats of his last 7 games. He needs the rock. He needs to be able to stay in rhythm, because if he could put up 25 plus a night in the NBA playoffs, watch out, because that is a completely different dynamic that this Knicks basketball team has. We know what Jalen Brunson brings on the offensive side of the floor. We know what Karl-Anthony Towns can provide when fully healthy. And then you add OG as the third scorer. I mean, watch out. Mikal Bridges, of course, as well, the fourth scorer. Josh Hart, triple-double machine. If we can get healthy, get Deuce off the bench, Mitchell Robinson off the bench, and then you never know. And I had to make this video because I'm seeing too many Knicks fans cry about the minutes or Tom Thibodeau. I don't trust this Knicks team in the playoffs. Like, I'm here to send some positive vibes across Knicks Nation, because OG Anunoby's been playing great basketball, and I personally think it changes everything. Now, I know he's got to do it against really good teams, and tonight's going to be a big test against Cleveland. You look at all this, the teams that the Knicks went up against and all the teams that OG Anunoby balled against. Charlotte, not a good team. Washington, not a good team. Dallas, injured. Clippers, solid team. 28 points, didn't win that game though. Milwaukee, that could be the playoff matchup for the Knicks. That's a solid team. Portland, not a good team. Philly, not a good team. So I know what you're probably thinking. Richie, he's doing it against really bad teams. What about against Cleveland? What about against Boston? What about against the elite? Well, we'll see tonight, and we'll see for the rest of the season, and more importantly, when the NBA playoffs come around, if OG Anunoby and this Knicks basketball team can really level up their game. And I feel like what I've learned from this Knicks basketball team this season, and even in years past, is they deal with adversity as best as they possibly can. And what I mean by that is, last year we dealt with a crazy amount of injuries, but this Knicks team still went into round number 2 of the NBA playoffs and pushed 7 games. You saw all the injuries pile up. Unfortunately, the Knicks are dealing with injuries all over again this year. Our captain, Jalen Brunson, who was playing MVP basketball, goes down, and now this Knicks team has to figure themselves out without them. And they have. They have been playing solid ball without Jalen Brunson. Have they been perfect? Absolutely not. That's Jalen Brunson we're talking about. But shout out to Delon Wright for subbing in for Jalen Brunson as a starting point guard. I believe the Knicks are like 4-0 or 3-0 with him starting at the 1 spot. You know, Tyler Kolek, we all thought he can get the starting job, but obviously Tom Thibodeau does not trust the rookie to run the ship. So Wright deserves some props. This Knicks depth, and the last thing I want to talk about, one specific player that has been balling, another X factor for the Knicks in the playoffs, is Landry Shamet. I mean, Shamet, the sharp shooting off the bench, has been flawless, and we need that coming in off the bench as we enter the NBA playoffs. So there's a lot of things to be excited about if you're a Knicks fan. So you guys let me know your thoughts in the comments about OG Anunoby and anything else regarding your New York Knicks. Appreciate all the love here on the channel. As always, let's go Knicks, and ooh, I cannot wait for the NBA playoffs to tip off in a few weeks. I'll see you guys then. Love you guys so much. Peace out. Hit the like button on your way out, and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Let's go Knicks.